All right, let's go ahead and break down LR Fusion Zamasu's kit here and figure out what direction you might want to build his hidden potential system depending on how many dupes you have. But this is based on getting all dupes for him. And timestamps are in the description below if you want to skip to a certain part. But let's go ahead and get started here. So he's a worldwide chaos or Patara category leader, key +4 in HP and attack and defense plus 150%. What I would like to see them change these yellow coin LRs to is either a 170% lead or a 180% lead, because 150% with the 200% leader skills and the power creep in the past half a year, 150% isn't feasible unless that's the only thing you have. And if it is the only thing you have, you're most likely not taking on a lot of difficult content. They do really need to change that to either 170 or 180%. But going on to his passive skill, he activates the entrance animation once only, plus an additional key, +1 per key sphere obtained for 5 turns when there's another Patara category ally on the team at start of character's turn. So as long as you have another Patara category ally, he basically has the same effect as the LR Super Saiyan 2 Gohans, where he gets 1 more key per key sphere. So he's actually getting 2 key per key sphere for the first 5 turns. So it's not permanent like the Gohans are. That's actually speaking Super Battle Road and Extreme Super Battle Road to me, where he's going to dominate so far. But moving on, randomly changes key spheres of a certain type, intelligence excluded, to intelligence key spheres. He's an orb changer. Good. Attack and defense plus 100% and reduces damage received by 20%. That is actually pretty good. He is an LR. What are his stats looking like? So 13, 4, 8, 8. Okay, that's not bad. I mean, it's not the highest defense, but it's not the lowest either. Plus an additional attack and defense plus 50% when performing a super attack. So he's getting essentially 150% as long as he's super attacking, which I don't think that's going to be a problem for him. Launches an additional super attack when performing an ultra super attack. So for the first 5 turns, he's getting, extra key per key sphere. So he's actually getting 2 key per key sphere. And he launches an additional super attack when performing an ultra super attack, which is very good. That's a lot of synergy right there, at least for the first 5 turns, because you need at least 18 key to launch his ultra super attack, and then afterwards he gets a guaranteed 12 key. That's pretty good. What are his super attack effects? He greatly raises attack and defense for 1 turn, causes colossal damage to enemy, and lowers attack. Definitely speaking Super Battle Road and Extreme Super Battle Road for sure. So greatly raises attack and defense for 1 turn on his 12 key and on his 18 key. That's good. Definitely ESBR and SBR dominator right here, and he greatly lowers attack on his 18 key. Plus an additional damage reduction of 2% within the same turn with each attack received up to 10%. So he potentially could get 30% damage reduction. On top of the defense he's getting on his super attack and at start of turn, this guy's looking really, really good so far. But moving on. Key +1 every time the character receives an attack 5 times in battle, up to +5. So does that mean he has to receive 25 attacks in order to get a permanent key boost of +5? If I'm reading that correctly, correct me if I'm wrong down in the comments below, but that looks like it says he will receive a permanent boost to 1 key after receiving 5 attacks, which in turn would mean 25 attacks to get a permanent boost of +5 key. So that is kind of weird. If it is set up that way, that is kind of weird, and that's a lot of attacks. That doesn't speak shorter events like Super Battle Road and Extreme Super Battle Road to me, because that's the only thing that isn't in synergy with what this guy will be capable of doing in those shorter, harder events. He recovers 10% HP at the end of turn every time the character receives an attack 5 or more times in battle. Okay, so it could work out. I mean, I guess the extra key or the permanent boost in key is kind of like a side effect or additional bonus that you don't necessarily need, but it is nice to have. And he's getting damage reduction potentially up to 30%. On top of that, he's getting more key, and then he's recovering 10% HP once he receives an attack 5 or more times in battle. I can see that working. That could actually be pretty useful. Great chance of evading enemies' unarmed super attack and countering with tremendous power. Super Battle Road and Extreme Super Battle Road, in any event you're running with them, you definitely want to put them in front of a bunch of attacks. So his kit's actually looking pretty good. I like it. He can be used in longer events. So if we take a look at some of the events here, red zone, he definitely could be useful in red zone for sure. More in the beginning stages than towards the middle or end, but he's still getting that damage reduction nonetheless. It's just that he's not getting the extra key after 5 turns. That's the only thing that falls off, I believe. So he definitely can be useful in longer events as well, but he's going to specialize in shorter events such as Super Battle Road and Extreme Super Battle Road. Of course, some of the longer events would be the Legendary Goku event, Legendary Goku GT event, Infinite Dragon Ball History, and Legendary Vegeta event, but those are older. I mean, he'd probably dominate in there as well just because they're older and he's part of the new meta. He definitely will specialize in ASBR and also SBR. He could be good in Gods of Destruction if you haven't completed that. I would say for his hidden potential system, he would definitely benefit from additional attacks. I don't think you could go wrong with putting as many points into additional attacks as possible, which would put him at 15 points of additional, 6 points in crit. You do want him to get hit for him to activate the full potential in his passive. You do want him to get hit, so you don't want to put any more dodge on him. Since he's an intelligence unit, inherently at 55%, he's going to have 5 points into dodge. I definitely would recommend putting as many points into additionals, which would put him at 15 points in additional attacks, and then the remaining points into crit, which would leave him at 6 crit, and then 5 dodge, just because he naturally has dodge as an intelligence unit. And then to raise his super attack for free without using any Elder Kais or Grand Kais, you can farm up this physical SR Fusion Zamasu right here, who can be obtained from this Dokkan event, Eternal God Distorter of Worlds. And he'll be able to be farmed in the first level, level 1, the Ultimate Power of God. It only has 1 difficulty, Z Hard. And then what I would recommend is Z awakening those copies into SSRs. That way it goes from a 30% chance to raise the super attack to a 50% chance. Keep in mind that this guy can't be in his LR rarity. He needs to be in his SSR rarity in order to get that 30% chance with the SR, and in order to get a 50% chance with the SSR rarity of the same unit. You'll be able to raise the super attack to level 10, and then once you awaken him to an LR, you'll have to use Kais from there to raise the super attack from 10 to 20. But at the very least, the first 10 super attack levels will be free to play if you decide to go with this route of raising super attack by farming up this physical SR Fusion Zamasu. Yeah, that's about it. I appreciate y'all, and I'll catch you on the next one.